All right, let's take a look at our last volume we're going to study in this unit, the volume of a pyramid. So like our final Great Pyramid of Giza, we'll figure out our last volume. And then a lot of reason we talk about this is really when we talk about roof. You look at the house design, and a lot of them are either rectangular prisms or volumes or pyramids. So that's kind of the reason we would look at this, because you don't see a lot of pyramids anymore nowadays, except a couple random ones, the pyramid at the Louvre, the Great Pyramids of Giza. There's a couple buildings in Las Vegas that are pyramid shaped, those kinds of things. But other than that, most of the time we don't see much of this, but we do see it as part of other for multiple shapes. So let's take a look. So our formula this game is, again, another derivative of the big BH formula. It is not the full big BH. A pyramid is 1/3 of the rectangular prism that it combines, or triangular prism it connects to. So the formula is 1/3 of the big BH. That's the relationship. It's 1/3 of the, in this case, triangular prism or rectangular prism, because you could have square or rectangular or square pyramids, and also triangular pyramids. It's 1/3 of that original shape. So if I have a pyramid, I could actually get 3 pyramids inside the same rectangular prism with the same height and base dimensions. So let's work this problem as our formula as 1/3 big BH. So again, that's our formula. Volume equals 1/3 of big BH. And just like before, big B is the area of the base. So this is our pyramid. It's kind of hard to tell what exact shape this is, so we're going to say it is a square pyramid. We can tell if it's rectangular. Let's do it as, actually, I think the most of these, let's start with a rectangular base on this one. So if we have a rectangular base, we know that it's our big B is going to equal base little b times height, base times height. So again, I love having our calculators nearby. 3 2/10 times 1 4/10. We get a big B, so 3.2 times 1 4/10 equals big B. So our first case is big B is 4 48/100. So now we can put it into our next formula. Volume equals 1/3 of 4 48/100 times our height, which is 2 8/10. Now, this is where it kind of comes in handy knowing some of your math and working your way through it. So you can do it any way you want. I typically like to look, is there something I can multiply by 1/3 and get either a whole number or an exact math problem? In this case, none of them do. 4 + 4 + 8 is 16, 2 + 8 is 10, so they're not divisible by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply them together times 2 8/10. So I get 1/3 of 12 544 thousandths, and then I'm going to divide that number by 3. So I'm going to round this to the nearest tenth. I get a number that is 4 2/10 inches cubed. And I actually get 4 and 1. We'll go out to the nearest thousandths, 181 thousandths. So I'm going to round that to 4 2/10 inches cubed. All right, why don't you guys give this one a try? It doesn't have a picture, but it has all the information you need in the formula for the pieces, okay? All right, so remember the formula is volume equals 1/3 of big BH. All right, pause the video and then come up with your answer. All right, so big B is 4 2/10 times 2 1/10. So big B comes out to be 8 82 thousandths, 100, sorry. So we put that into our formula, 1/3 of 8 82 hundredths times 3 3/10. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and do this first. I'm going to take 1/3 of 33, 3.3, and say 8 82 hundredths times 1.1. It just allows me to do more quickly. I mean, with the calculator, I can go across without a problem, but it's easier just sometimes to do that in my head. So I have a volume of 9 7/10 inches cubed. Good job. All right, let's try another one. This time, let's try one more now. Again, this time, let's take a look at one with a triangular base. So that doesn't change my formula for volume is 1/3 of big BH, but it changes big B. So now big B is no longer base times height, it's 1/2 of little bh. So big B is 1/2 times 6 4/10 times 8 1/10. So again, I'm just going to type that all in. 6 4/10 times 8 1/10 divided by 2. So I get a big B for me is 25 92 hundredths. So now I'm going to put it in my big formula. Volume equals 1/3 of 25 92 hundredths times 11. So 2 plus 5 plus that. This one actually is divisible by 3, so I'm going to go ahead and divide it by 3 evenly. So now I'm getting volume equals 8 64 hundredths times 11. So I get this time a volume of 95 meters cubed when I round to the nearest 10, because it's 95 4 hundredths, so 4 hundredths wouldn't round it up. All right, it is your turn to try the volume of this triangular pyramid. All right, so let's work our way through this problem. Volume equals same big B H. So we don't, big B this time again is that same 1/2 of 13 times 5. Well, sadly, 13.5, 13 times 5 divided by 2 comes out to being 32.5. So that's big B is 32.5. So volume equals 1/3 of 32 5/10 times 11. None of these divide, so we're going to multiply that by 11. I get 1/3 of 357 5/10, and then we'll divide this by 3. So I get 119 16 hundredths, so 119 2/10, and this time feet cubed. It's a relatively large volume for a relatively decent size triangular pyramid. All right, so another one. Now let's work the other side of it. Let's talk about what if I have big B? What if I have the volume? How do I work this way backwards? Well, it depends on what I have. Just like before, the original formula is V equals 1/3 of big BH. So let's work our way through that problem. So I know I've got 90 equals 1/3. Make sure the 1/3 is on the opposite side. Big B I can get now, it's a rectangular prism, it's 45 times H. So I can put these two together to get 90 equals 15H. Divide both sides by 15. And 90 divided by 15 is 6. So I get my height is 6 inches. All right, it's your turn to give this next one a try. Again, another rectangular prism. It says triangular prism. It's actually a rectangular prism, so go ahead and use that information to solve this problem. All right, let's see how we did. 110 equals 1/3. So big BH, again, in this case is 55 times H. So 1/3 of 55, 55 divided by 3 gives me 18 1/3. So 110 equals 18 1/3. I know it's 1/3 because I've got 0.3333 repeating. So I'm going to go ahead and divide it by that same idea. I'm going to multiply it by, I'm going to use my reciprocal because I've got a fraction. Or I can go ahead and round it to 18 and do it this way. I'm going to get a slightly different answer either way, but I'd accept both of these. Okay, so if I'm going to do it this way, it's 110 equals 55 over 3H, and I multiply both sides by 3 over 55. That same reciprocal we learned in a previous lesson. So 330 divided by 55, I get H is 6. If I do it the other way, 110 divided by 18.3, I get 6.01, and since I'm rounded to the nearest tenth, it would say it'll be that same H of 6. Okay, so either way works on how I do it. It gives me roughly similar answers. You can see if you try them both, they're slightly different in number, but they'd round to the same 6. All right, your turn. Okay, find me this is a scale model. Find the volume of this square pyramid. All right, so I've got volume equals 1/3 of big BH. Again, big B is a rectangular prism, thank goodness. I like that one better. So big B is 9 times 9. So 81, 1/3 of 81 times my height, which is 8. Well, 81 happens to divide evenly, so it's 27 times 8. And 27 times 8, my volume is 216 inches cubed or cubic inches. All right, I forgot my V equals on these, pardon me. All right, last one. Give this one a shot all by yourself. All right, so volume is that 1/3 of big BH. Again, big B is base times height in this case, so 12 times 12, that's 144. So 1/3 of 144 times 12. I could do 1/3 of either of these numbers, so I'm gonna do it of 12. 144 times 4, and that means my volume is equal to, let's put my volume, 576 cubic inches. All right, so if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help you. All right, have a great day.